Laura Trump says Trump administration will set things right on Epstein files. More transparency and evidence coming soon, says base is being heard. I'm going to be honest. I'm not too optimistic about this. Why originally did he not do this? Common sense would tell you this is what the base want. We wanted transparency. We've been talking about transparency. This is the whole reason why we voted for Trump, is for transparency. So why promise us all these things when it comes to finding out what really went down with the whole Epstein stuff and then backtrack on it? So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very optimistic about it. I'm still disappointed. I'm frustrated when it comes to this stuff because these perpetrators should be held accountable, and it's looking like more and more that they're not going to be held accountable for what happened. So we're gonna play the clip and hear what Laura has to say about it, and we're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundit, and they report that Lara Trump, daughter-in-law of President Donald Trump and former RNC co-chair, said during a recent podcast interview with Benny Johnson, assuring the American people that the Trump administration is listening and more Epstein-related documents are likely on the way. Lara Trump acknowledged the growing outrage among the American people regarding the sealed Epstein files, suggesting that President Trump is listening closely and is ready to act. But that's the thing that's so frustrating, because they should have known the reaction that they were going to get from not releasing this the information that that was promised. We knew this was a big topic, something that a lot of people care about, no matter what conservative mainstream pundits like Ben Shapiro try to lie and try to pretend like no one cares about the Epstein stuff. It's because he's protecting his country, which is Israel. He's protecting Mossad. He knows who's behind this, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not even going to take it there today. But Lara Trump admitted that while the president has a full plate, including diplomatic challenges in the Middle East and historic progress at the southern border, which saw 0 illegal crossings in June, that's just amazing, he remains fully aware of the Epstein scandal's gravity and the deep demand from the American people for the truth and justice. That's what it is about. Truth and justice. That's why we're so upset about this, because these victims are not getting justice. Over 1,000 young girls was trafficked. To who? We don't know, because they're not telling us. But she claimed that if any materials can be safely declassified without jeopardizing underage victims or witnesses, the Trump administration will pursue their release. How hard is it to have a victim name and black it out? How hard is that? You have the power of the federal government. Why does it seem so difficult for them to do? While acknowledging that the Epstein case may not be the president's top daily priority, she rejected the idea of any great plot to suppress information. Well, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like is happening. But let's play the clip. Let's hear what Lara Trump has to say about all this. Here we go.
What would be your advice? Given this back and forth, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. This was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, that everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie and saw our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really frightening and very upsetting to a lot of people to see. And I would actually say over the past 10 years, we've all kind of endured this. Prior to that, it was probably happening, Benny, but we just weren't as aware of it. It wasn't until Donald Trump came down that golden escalator that he just kind of blew the doors off of everything. And people started to wake up and realize, wait a minute, things are not as they have always been presented to us. And I do believe that you will see that. Now, as it relates to the president, I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got this big announcement with Russia going on, I think, as we're speaking right now at the White House. We have, a Middle East. We're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that Iran's nuclear arsenal is obviously completely decimated. We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, you've seen no border crossings in the last month. 0, by the way. I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. 0 illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it. So hopefully we see that happen sooner than later. And I guess that would be my advice. But to everybody out there who's all worked up about it, there's no great plot to keep this information away that I'm aware of. I do just believe that maybe it's been slow rolled for reasons that hopefully we understand down the line. And I think we're probably going to get more transparency on it very soon.
I'm really not satisfied with that answer. I'm not satisfied with that answer. They held a vote yesterday. They held a vote about the whole transparency thing when it comes to Epstein, and overwhelmingly Republicans voted against releasing information pertaining to Epstein. I'm super shocked by that. Like I'm flabbergasted. I can't even talk today. I'm flabbergasted by that. Like I don't understand, why would you vote against transparency? The whole reason why we vote conservative, the whole reason why we voted for these people and put them in office is because we want answers. We want transparency. We don't want to be lied to. We don't want things hidden from us. But it seems like that's exactly what's happening. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.